The Fantasy Skirmisher.
Into the mountain, you enter the blackness of an unlit stairway. You create a magical light as your party works their way upwards until you reach an entrance into a catacomb. Eerie light illuminates the catacomb, which appear to come from fissures in the ceiling that serve as natural skylights. It's time to begin your search. This scenario uses the 3-foot by 3-foot dungeon layer mat from Cigar Box Battle Mats. Of course, you are free to create your own layout. Osprey Publishing offers free train downloads that you could use for this scenario as well. The web links will be listed in the instructions of the campaign. The corridors are 3 inches wide except for one right here, which is about 2 inches. And it'll be shown here in the instructions if you want to create your own layout. Room exploration uses a deck of playing cards. Pull out ace card and then cards 2 through 6 to represent the rooms. The ace will be room number 1. So you pull out the 6, set it aside for now, and then shuffle the rest of the cards. You then take 2 cards, add it to the card with the 6, and shuffle them. And then you put it below the deck, at the bottom of the deck there. And so what this does, it ensures that you have to explore at least 3 rooms before you find the library/study room, which has a lever which gives you access to the tomb that you need to go to do the final battle and recover the Eye of Fatima. You then place a ballista 2 in each of the alcoves. These are activated by a room event and are not accessible until then. Then in the tomb itself, you place the sarcophagus, and then in the back of the room, place a treasure chest. Your starting warband starts in the entry area here, and then you're going to place a door that connects to each of the rooms. Now, the exception is the tomb here because this is blocked by iron spikes, and there's no way to get in unless you find a way to open them. And that is true with the alcoves as well. These are all blocked by iron spikes. So think of Skyrim, and there's some areas in the dungeons where they're blocked by those spikes, and you got to find a switch or something like that to be able to open them. Same situation here. Now for these special instructions, like I mentioned, the tomb and the alcoves do not have any doors but are blocked by metal bars. There's no way to open them unless you find a way by searching rooms. Now doors take 1 action to either open or to close. And when the door is first open, you will draw one of the drawing cards to determine what the room is and how the room is set up. And so to do that, you consult a chart here where it's got the room number, which is the playing card, and then a description of the room and how it's set up and any other special instructions. Just like in scenario 1, the sarcophagus takes 2 actions to open. After it's opened, you would place the Wraith of the Keeper anywhere adjacent to it. The objective of this scenario and the campaign, of course, is to recover the Eye of Fatima. And then after you do that, you would read the quest completed paragraph towards the end of the campaign instructions. All right, let's do this. It is turn 1, the wizard phase. Cherrybird, he's going to activate everybody, all 3 here. And let's go ahead and start with my thief. So he's going to move up to the door for 1 action. And we have to do all the moves first. And I think she is going to go right behind him. Well, actually, she's going to hang back a little bit. And then Thomas, my archer. And then, of course, Cherrybird. So they've all moved. Second action, Thief is going to open the door, and we then draw a card, and we drew a 3. So we look at the chart, the room chart here. Room number 3. This supply room contains piles of barrels and crates. 2 ice toads sit in the center of the room. Place 1 treasure token on the far side of the room from where you entered. All right, let's go ahead and get the room set up. It is now the second action. Cherrybird is going to attempt Elemental Bolt. So he rolls a 5 and does not cast it. And then Thomas is going to shoot at one of the toads, and he rolled a 7 to the toad's 12. So he clearly missed. And it is now the toad's turn, and they are going to do a double move because their movement is only 4 inches. They're very slow, but they have the powerful trait, which means that if they connect, they hit, they do double damage. So in the rule book it says it's generally best left to leave them well enough alone. But now we're in melee contact. It is turn 2, and Cherrybird is going to attempt Enchant Weapon, and I think he's going to do that on Tom Bumblefinger, my thief. He needs to roll a 10 and rolls an 11, so successfully casts it, which gives Tom a +1 fight. So he attacks, and he rolls a 20. And good thing about ice toads is that they are weak. And so this toad is gone. They have an armor of 10 and a health of 5. And now Thomas, let's see if he could be just as successful. The ice toad definitely won this fight. He rolled a 16 to Thomas's 7. Total fight for the toad is 18, minus 11 armor. And so we've got 7 left, double the damage. That's 14 damage. And 1 bite took out poor Thomas. And that's just our first room, and we still have this toad to deal with. Morkant, who did not move last turn, is going to move up since he has a line of sight. And he's going to attempt Elemental Bolt. And he rolled a 13, so he successfully cast it. And now he does the +7 shooting attack. And rolled another 14 to Ice Toad's 12. Ice Toad has a 14 total with his +2 fight, and Morkant has a 21 total, minus the Toad's 10 armor, and the Toad only has 5 health, so the Toad is toast, and it starts smelling kind of like chicken in the area because it got roasted. It is now the soldier phase, and I think I'm going to do something a little crazy. I'm going to have Joan, that's exactly 6 inches, walk up to the door. And for her second action, she's going to open it. And now we need to find out what we discovered. So we draw a card. It is a 5. And room 5 is, this was an alchemy room. Place 2 small vapor snakes in the center of the room and a treasure in one corner of the room. After the treasure is picked up, roll once on the potions table on page 58 of the Frostgrave rulebook. This item is available for immediate use. Oh, great. Now we got vapor snakes. I hate vapor snakes. I went up against them playing Perilous Dark when I went through the campaign during the 2020 spring COVID lockdown. And I just remember they are very deadly and hard to kill. I cannot use Elemental Bolt because they'll just burst into flame and become flammable and burn my guys, and that's not good. So I think the best thing to do is during the apprentice phase, have Morkant run up and shut the door and keep it shut and then move on. All right, so it is the wizard phase though, and I am going to have a group activation where my wizard activates Tom Bumblefinger, who's going to run, pick up the treasure in the room where the ice toads were. And I think I'm going to do the same for Cherrybert. He's going to move 6 inches. It's their second activation. Oh, there's the treasure. Doesn't quite make it. And Cherrybert moves up against the door here. All right, it is the apprentice phase, and Morcant moves for 1 and then closes the door. We'll leave the vapor snakes be. And finally, it is the soldier phase, and Joan is going to do a double move, and that brings her right to the entrance of the door that we first opened where the ice toads were. And now we are back to a new turn. All right, so Cherrybert, he's just going to go ahead and open the door. There's not going to be a group action here. And then he's going to move up not quite 6 inches. And now it is Morcant's turn. Morcant is going to turn around and hightail it back to the room where everyone else is. And then it is the soldier phase. So Bumblefinger here, it moves up and picks up the treasure. And that's his 2 actions. And Joan does a double move, and we're on to a new turn. All right, so Cherrybert, he's going to do, what the heck, a group activation, because they're just going to do a double move up to this door here. So they each move 9 inches. And it is now Morcant's turn. He's going to do the same. And it is the soldier phase. And I think that's the fastest turn I've played. On to a new one. It's the wizard phase again, and really there's no time crunch here. We're just exploring rooms and trying to find, the lever which will give us access to the tomb. So I'm just going to make sure that everyone is moved up so we're in the best position to handle whatever this room holds. So they're just going to move up. Nine inches. And now I think for the next turn here, we can open the door. It is wizard phase, and Cherrybert is going to use his first action to open the door. And I draw a card. The card is a 4. And looking at the room chart here, it is an armory that is guarded by 2 armored skeletons and 1 skeleton archer. Place 1 treasure token on the far side of the room from where you entered. After this treasure is picked up, roll once on the magic weapons and armor table. This item is available for immediate use. And you'll notice that I've got some changes I just found that I needed correcting. The page numbers were from the first edition, and I forgot to make sure it was from the second edition. All right, let's set up the room. For Cherrybert's second action, he is going to cast Elemental Bolt, or attempt to. And he rolled a 14, so now he does a +7 shooting attack. And he rolled a 9, +7 is 16, to the total for the skeleton of 15, so he just made it. The armored skeleton has a armor of 12, and so the hits go through. He only has 1 health, so that armored skeleton goes down. It is now Morkant's turn, and he's in the hallway running up behind everybody. And he's able to squeeze right in front of Joan there. And he's going to do the same thing, attempt Elemental Bolt. He successfully casts on a 12 or better. And he rolled a 5, so he takes a point of damage. And now it is creature phase 2. And the skeletons attack. So first the archer is going to shoot at Morkant. And they both rolled 14s. However, the skeleton archer has a shoot of 0, so he just barely misses. Just hits kind of like the side of the door right there. Thump, and that's it. All right, now the other armored skeleton moves in, attacks Morkant. And the armored skeleton has a fight of +2. And Morkant has a fight of, what does he have a fight of? A fight of +1. And Skeleton Archer rolled a 17 to Morkant's 9, so easily won. So Skeleton won. So 19 total. Ouch. 19 minus his armor. So takes 9 points damage. It is now the soldier phase. Joan runs in and attacks, and she has +2 support plus +2 fight, and she easily defeats the skeleton. And now we need our thief to make a run for that archer there, but I don't think he does not make it. He's just going to kind of skirt on the side here by the treasure chest. And hopefully during the wizard phase or the apprentice phase, we'll be able to take out that archer. I was going to have Cherry Burt try to destroy that skeleton archer, but I think he's going to try to heal Morkant, who is down to 3 health. And he rolled 17, so he successfully cast heal. So Morkant is up to 8 health now. Now for second action, he's just going to move adjacent to the door here. Now it is Morkant's turn. Now he is going to attempt Elemental Bolt. And he rolled a 10, but he's going to cut for 2 and take 2 damage and successfully cast it. And so he does a +7 shooting attack. He rolled a 16. Skeleton rolled a 1, 16 + 7. And that skeleton archer is toast. Now he's going to also move up. And now it is the soldier phase. Joan moves up, and for her second action, she opens up the door. And just set these aside. Tom Bumblefinger, he's going to open up the chest, and now we could roll on the armor weapons table and see what he gets. And now Tom is going to do his move 7 inches. So now he's racing up to be point. Tom Bumblefinger rolled a 12 on the magic weapon and armor table, which gave him a dagger with a +1 damage modifier. So that is a nice upgrade for my thief. So Cherry Burt does a group activation with the thief, who moves up 6 inches. And he's going to move up 6 inches as well. And for the second activation, the door is opened and we need to draw a card, which is a 2. So looking at the room chart, number 2, spider silk covers the floors and walls of the room. Place 3 ice spiders in each corner except the one closest to the door. Venom may be extracted from killed spiders and costs 1 action per spider. The venom may be sold for 35 gold crowns each after the campaign. So that's a good thing because we don't have a lot of gold crowns that we collected throughout this campaign. So let's go ahead and place the spiders. And it is Cherry Bert's second action. I think I'm just going to have Cherry Bert move up to the other door here. We've got 2 more rooms left. One of them has to be the room we're looking for to open up the tomb. It is now the apprentice phase, and Morkant is going to do a double move. He's not going to do a group activation. I want to see what happens before I move Joan of Rivers. And he stops right there. It is now creature phase 2, and the spiders move. So we have the one closest, moves up and attacks. They're poisonous. They have a fight of 1. So we roll the dice here, and rolled a 1 and a 4. So neither hits. So now we have this spider here that moves up. It now has +2 support. The dice are rolled, and the spider rolled a crit 20. So my thief is gone. And then finally we have the other spider. Who's going to do a double move, crawl right over the other 2 spiders there. The spiders have the special ability climbing, so I want to assume that that's other spiders as well. And then make space contact with Morkant. And now we have Joan. She's a little, I think she's too far, well, she's definitely more than 6 inches away. But she does need to go in and provide some support. And she's going to do a double move and go into base contact with the spider. It is now wizard phase. And of course he's going to attempt elemental bolt. Rolls a die and rolls a 13, so he's able to cast it. So it's a +7 shooting attack. And he rolled a 7 + 7 to the spider's 18, so failed. Great. All right, so now it is Morkant's turn. Morkant, well, he's just going to do a melee attack. He's got +2 support from Joan. And rolled a 20. And so did the ice spiders. But spider has +1 fight, and my apprentice has the support, so actually wins. And so the spider is defeated. Now it is the spider's turn. So the one closest moves up to Joan and attacks. The dice are rolled. Joan rolled a 15 to the spider's 12, plus she's got +4 fight. So she's got 19 total. Ice spiders have 8 armor, 4 health. So that is another dead spider. And the other one runs up, attacks as well. And she rolled a 16 to the spider's 6, and another dead spider. Thank goodness. Let's put these dead spiders out because we need to collect the venom because we need the gold crowns. So Joan, soldier phase, she collects venom and then she's going to move 6 inches towards the door. And we are now back to with the wizard phase, new turn. 3 inches, collects, 3 inches, collects, and then Joan, she is just going to take one action. Oh, what the heck. Move to the door, and she is going to take her second action to open it. What do we have here? We have a 6. And 6 is the room that we need. This was a library and study. You notice a lever on the wall opposite the door. A character standing adjacent to a wall in the room for one action can pull the lever. After doing so, 2 things happen. 1, make a will roll with a target number of 12. If the roll fails, a poison dart shoots from the wall and makes a +5 shooting attack against the character who pulled the lever. Number 2, your party hears metal grinding as the bars that seal the tomb and the alcoves sink into the floor. These areas are now accessible. The 2 ballista 2s are now activated and move in creature phase 2. They will move towards the tomb if they do not have line of sight to one of your warband. Place the Wraith of the Keeper adjacent to the sarcophagus. The Wraith will not leave the confines of its tomb. The room is set up, and we're also going to place the Wraith of the Keeper adjacent to the sarcophagus. We're close to the final battle. The turns are moving quickly now since there's only 3 characters left. Wizard phase, and I think I'm going to have Cherry Burton move up to the door. Morcant is just going to follow suit. It is there's no creature phase 2, at least not yet until that lever is pulled. And so Joan is going to do a double move and move up to the lever. And now it is a new turn again. Cherryburt is going to open this door, and he is going to move out 5 inches. So he's going to position himself right there, ready for the tomb bars to open. Morcant, he's going to do the same. So he's going to go right up close to Cherryburt. And now Joan, she is going to take an action and pull the lever. Joan has a will of 0, and she has to beat a target number of 12 or get hit by a poison dart. And she rolled a 20, so she opened it without the trap setting off. Joan is now going to do her move. And it is now a new turn. So the metal bars have sunk into the floors, allowing access to the tomb, as well as the alcoves that house the 2 ballista 2 constructs, which are going to start moving on creature phase 2. Now it is back to Cherryburt, and of course he's going to cast Elemental Bolt, or at least attempt to. He rolled an 8. I think I'm going to have him cut for 3, take 3 damage. That way he could successfully cast it. So now he's going to do a +7 shooting attack. And they both rolled 15s, but our shot went through because it's a +7 attack. The Wraith of the Keeper has a move of 6, +2 fight, +0 shoot, 10 armor, +5 will, and 10 health. He's undead. immaterial, that is, he can move through terrain. Immune to control undead. Drain life force, which means all attacks do double damage. And he is immune to non-magic weapons. So the shot goes through. He has 10 armor, and so he takes 12 hits, which means he's down to 4 health. It is now creature phase 1, and the Wraith of the Keeper is going to do a double move into base contact to Cherrybert. Now it is the apprentice phase. War can't, well, he can't shoot into that, can he? So he is going to back up a little bit. He is going to attempt to cast Heal. Roll the dice. He rolled a 19. So this spell restores 5 points of health. And so at least he's got some health for this battle to come. And it is now Joan's turn. And she can just barely swing into base contact. That's 6 inches, and she is going to attack. So she's going to be at a +6, and if you recall, she does have a magical weapon. So the dice is rolled. She rolled a 15 to the race 8. So 15 plus 6, 21. And the Wraith has armor of 10, 10 health. She does 11 damage, and she saves the day. However, in my excitement, I forgot creature phase 2, went straight to the soldier phase. Fortunately, it does not affect the turn at all. So we've got the constructs who are going to move. And now we're into a new turn. Cherrybert, he is going to move 6 inches here. He has line of sight of the on the construct right here. So he's going to attempt Elemental Bolt. He rolled a 19, so he does the +7 shooting attack, and he rolled a 1, so just barely made a little ping on his armor here. So it is now Morkant's turn. He's going to move 6 inches. He's got line of sight to the other construct right here. So he's going to attempt also Elemental Bolt, and rolled a 7. He failed. And now we are into creature phase 2 again. And these constructs are slow. They have a movement of 4, so doing a double move is 6 inches, which is what both of them are doing. They're closing in. It is now the soldier phase, and Joan, she is going to double move into base contact with this Ballista 2. And we're back to a new turn. Cherrybert is going to attempt to cast Elemental Bolt. And he rolled a 1, takes some damage, and he's going to fall back a bit. And now Morkant, he's going to also attempt Elemental Bolt. He rolled a 20, so it does a +7 shooting attack against this Ballista here. And he rolled a 15 + 7. So Morkant hits for 22 damage, -13. So the Ballista takes 9 damage and has 5 health left. Morkant is also going to fall back a bit. It is creature phase 2, and the Ballista here is going to attack Joan. The dice are rolled. Ballista rolled a 15 to Joan's 17, 17 + 4. The Ballista has +3 fight, so Joan won. 21 minus 13 armor is 8, so the ballista has 6 health left. And since they're in base contact, this ballista is going to move into base contact and attack as well. So now that this ballista has a +5 fight with the support. So Joan's at a small disadvantage, but let's see if she could pull this off. And she did. She rolled a 13, has a 17 total. 17 minus 14, so 3 damage. This ballista is down to 1 health, and she's going to push it back an inch. It is now the soldier phase. Joan is still in melee, and she's in for the fight of her life. So she's going to attack, and she rolled a 14 to the construct's 8, and so wins this battle, but is it enough? She does 18 total damage, minus 13 armor for a total of 5 damage. So this construct is down to 1 health, and she is going to push it back an inch, and she's going to use her second action to get the heck out of dodge. She's just going to move over into the corner. And we're into a new turn. Cherry Burt is going to attempt Elemental Bolt against this construct here. And he rolled a 10. He cuts for 1 to succeed, does a +7 shooting attack. He rolls a 15, +7, so it's definitely more than enough to do more than 1 damage. And that construct goes down. And it is over to Morkant. He's going to move first to get in line of sight. And he needs to do just 1 damage. Because if not, then this ballista is going to shoot back. So he's going to attempt Elemental Bolt. He has to roll a 13 or better. He rolled a 9. Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to take 4 damage to do a +7 shooting attack. And he missed. Good boy. All right. It is now the construct's turn. The construct is going to shoot. And the construct rolls a 20. So 22 total. And there goes my apprentice. It is the construct's second activation. It moves up 4 inches. And it is now the soldier phase. Joan's also rushing forward to attack. And Joan, yes, rolled a 20. Construct rolled an 8. Obviously more than enough to remove that last hit point. And that construct also goes down. So I think this is the last turn. Cherry Burt moves in. He opens the chest. And he collects the Eye of Fatima. And what is the Eye of Fatima exactly? The Eye of Fatima is a magnificent golden amulet with powerful magical properties. You may activate the Eye of Fatima as an action to control any non-wizard/apprentice character or creature within line of sight for 1 turn. No casting roll is needed, and it doesn't require a wizard or apprentice to use. The target does not make any will rolls. The Eye of Fatima can only be used once per scenario. So there we have it, with only 2 people standing, including our wizard, and the Eye of Fatima has been recovered. Now it is on to the death rolls. And now we will do the death rolls in the order of which the characters went down. First is our archer, Thomas Middleton. and he rolled a 3. He is dead. Next we have our thief, Tom Bumblefinger. Rolled, no, that's not a 7, that's a 1. He is also dead. Oh boy. Okay. Now we have our apprentice, Morcant. Rolled a 14. Thank goodness, a full recovery. And then there was 3. I can't believe I lost 7 out of 10 warband members. But we've got our wizard in good shape, as well as Morcant the apprentice, and Joan, who's our VIP soldier. But it's time to rebuild the warband. Fortunately, I was able to retrieve that venom from those 3 spiders, which will enable me, to buy some specialist soldiers and not just load out with some free thugs and thieves. I hope you enjoyed this campaign. I really enjoyed playing it. I thought it had a good narrative. It presented some challenges. Obviously, it did. I've only got 3 survivors. And I look forward to hearing your experiences. And please post session reports if you choose to play this. You will be able to find this campaign on the Board Game Geek page for the Frostgrave 2nd Edition game page, as well as the Frostgrave Facebook group. So again, love to hear your feedback, and thank you for watching the Fantasy Skirmisher. There's more good stuff to come. Bye-bye.